Hello everybody and welcome back to Crusader Kings, where we're a few days further than we were previously. This is because I got about 1 minute into the recording and then realized audio wasn't being captured for some reason. A quick restart of OBS later and here we are. Everything is working correctly now. So we're going to be heading up over here. Nothing significant has happened. We're winning this battle up over here, which was fairly expected, and we're working on grouping these forces together. Now, I've told this unit to stop heading up over here and to siege here instead, and we're just going to siege over this way real quick, group our forces together, and come up over here. It'll be fine. So now you're all caught up on what happened in that first minute, and we're just going to proceed here. No problem whatsoever. So this war against the nomads is over. Just from that singular battle. I love it. That's 50 legitimacy. That's a big deal for us. So these guys up here, they are now free to do whatever we want them to do. As of right now, I don't know that there's that much that we actually need them to do. I suppose they could come down here and try to deal with this. Is this actually held by the uprising? Yes, it is. Okay, so they could start walking there. It'll probably be done before they arrive. It'll take them a long time to get there after all, but we can head on over and that'll be fine. So then down over this direction, of course, we need to get all of this taken care of, and that's going to go pretty quickly once we actually arrive with our men-at-arms here. So as we can see, these sieges are now going to go pretty quick, and we'll just finish this up. There we go. We're going to hop over here. We're still raising this force here. They're going to keep raising for another 3 months, apparently, and that's fine. So we're going to walk this direction, and yeah, they're going to have this capped soon, and that's a problem for ticking war score, but we're going to be taking that back very shortly here. So that sounds absolutely fine. I'm not too concerned about it right now. So we're going to finish that up, and we're going to hop in here, and we're going to group these forces together. This is a faction organizing. Do we care about this faction? Who is this guy? Is he part of the... Okay, this is the Independence faction. This guy wants to take over the Bengal throne. That's noted. He's going to... That's going to be happening soon. I'm going... This guy's actually a known prisoner, or known criminal, so we can imprison him without being viewed as a tyrant. We're just going to do that. So that sounds good. And this guy's now too weak to send an ultimatum. His discontent is dropping. Okay. That's a very good sign. So we're going to group these guys together, and we're going to head up to here next. So that looks good. We've got about 5,000 gold on hand, and I'm going to sell trivial titles. That'll be fine. We do want to do some more investment down over this direction. So I'm going to invest in these regimental grounds here. That's getting quite expensive, but that's not, you know, surprising. So over this direction, we could work on this blacksmith. There we go. That'll further boost our men-at-arms, which are already absurdly powerful. And we're just going to hop up over here. Okay, this guy's actually giving us 900 gold. Fantastic. A true and loyal vassal. So I'm going to split off a siege force here, and this is going to end up being our bombards, plus our second unit of bombards, and then maybe around 10-ish K. And the rest of these, they're going to wander up over here because we have some work to do. So I want to put in a siege leader here, ideally. Who's leading this? He's a siege leader, but he's also our best leader, probably. We've got Raider here and Defender. He'd have the same stats as this guy. Gotcha. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to replace him with this guy, and then this guy is going to go here. Technically, this has 30 advantage, and this has 30 advantage. Actually, yeah, it's exactly the same. I thought that one had 27 for a second there, but it seems to have updated, so that's fine. So these guys, they're going to head up over here once they're done, and this siege is complete, so we're going to walk in over this direction. He's running away at this point, which is not surprising. And we're just going to keep chasing him. We want to give battle as soon as possible here. That is a very, very high priority for us. So we're going to walk up over here and take this back. Excellent. That's a stack wipe. And the war is over. So that's magnificent. I'm just waiting for that battle to end. There we go. And we'll enforce these demands. Cool. So he gave us a bunch of money, and that's wonderful. So now we can start getting rid of these territories down here. So we can group our forces together again. I'm wondering how many forces do these guys actually have? 22k, and 16k of those are right here. So where's the other 6k? There's this up over here. Okay, so this guy is attacking us in the Maturidi Uprising. So that's definitely noted here. Presumably this guy's the other 6k. He's got about 5k. Yeah, that's presumably what we've got going on there. So here's the plan then. We need to get this guy out of here for sure. I want to move this force down here to go take this out. They're going to embark. That's okay. We're going to group these guys together and take back these two territories. Although this force, I'm actually going to send down here as well. It's going to take them 4 months to get there. That's understood. Okay. So we need to take back this spot right here, obviously. And then we're going to come take back this spot. Perfect. So everything's looking fine here. We don't expect to have major problems here, but what this does do is this further delays us from getting our oath completed. I don't think we're going to be able to do this in time, but that's okay. I guess we'll find out what happens if we fail an oath. That'll be interesting. Or maybe this guy will die before then, but probably not, to be honest. He's doing okay, and I want him to stay alive for a while yet. So we'll summon the physician. A soft approach is indeed best. Okay, so we'll take that back. Perfect. That should now put ticking war score on our side, and that's excellent. Now, we can come up over this way and try to siege up here, but even with us outnumbering these guys 4-1, I think they win that. Oh yeah, they definitely win that. So I don't want to risk our siege force with that. I think for now, all I'm going to do is wait until these guys come up here, and we are likely going to end the war just by winning that. So that's the dream here. Now, this guy is too weak to send an ultimatum. This is nomads. Okay, yeah, fair enough. So we're going to hop in up over here. That'll be wonderful. We do have more money that we can invest, and I would love to do so. I'm just looking for places that will further upgrade our men-at-arms. Here's one. We can certainly get this blacksmith upgrade going here, and then up in Calicut, we can get a wind furnace upgrade. That'll be fine. And we'll stack wipe this. This is no concern. That did not end the war. Okay. I had hoped that that would end the war. We didn't capture the leader, unfortunately. And this guy still has 3684 troops. Where is the question? There. Okay. Noted. We're not going to siege this. We are instead going to come over and take out this guy. If we do that, the war ends. But that's going to take us some time to get there. How long? It's going to be, if we have these guys selected, it's going to be 4 months to get there. Okay. That should be fine. I don't have a problem with that. So at this moment, ticking war score is on our side, and our battle war score is currently capped, but if we make it so that he has no remaining armies or capture him, that will immediately end the war. And that's perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. So I'm grouping these together. 55 gold to embark that. That's okay. No problem at all there. Up here in Cananor, I do want to get this outpost upgrading to further boost our men-at-arms. That will be wonderful. And there we go. We are embarked, and that's honestly the majority of the time that this is going to be. So we're going to... Where did his army go? Here. Is he disembarking here? He is. Okay. So in we go. We're angling to catch this lad. So we're headed up over here, and oh yeah, we got him. Perfect. So that looks great. This will end this war, and we'll see what our stability looks like after this. There we go. War is over. We'll enforce those demands, and we've got this nomadic migration. Okay, where is this at? Okay. Unfortunate timing. We would need forces up here. The question is, what can we bring in? Well, we do have some mercs. We can also bring in a holy order, which is what I'm going to do. We're going to bring in a holy order here, and I'm going to go with this guy. We're going to walk right in here with the dream being that this ends this war and lets us put down our troops. That's what we need right now. That looks good. Oh, yeah. Perfect. Okay, so we'll enforce those demands and disband our troops. That's huge. Okay. So our troops are down. We can now re-raise them wherever we end up needing them. Now, over in Mahal, I definitely want to get these stables upgrading. We'll get that going right now. We've got a lot of money flowing in, and that's good. If we're not interested... this is fine. If we're not interested in pushing for our oath at this point, maybe we should just chill. This guy's pretty powerful on his own, right? Now, that's a pretty big deal. I would like to bump up to absolute crown authority. We have 7 years on that cooldown, so that's understood. This is fine. This is not fine. Okay. I think we just break our oath, and we'll see what the penalty for that is. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of a dire penalty. Probably like a legitimacy hit, which would be painful for sure, but I'm interested in seeing what that is. I have not ever broken an oath before, so we'll find out. But I don't think this oath is doable at this point. Like, 7 years in order to get 90 counties. If we had not had all of those rebellions, I think it would have been possible. If we had been able to just focus for a full 20 years on getting that oath done, I think we could have. But that's not the situation we found ourselves in. So that's understood. We've got these guys brewing up in 9 months, and we need to deal with people like this guy. So if we wanted to deal with him, how would we go about doing that? Well, this would be a good way to do it. Sure. That solves that problem. Okay, so we are now allied with the smelly guy. I like it. Okay, cool. So at this point, this 10 gold is absolutely acceptable. This is probably not. Yeah, that's not acceptable. We'll not do that. So at this juncture, the question becomes, do we want to work on any expansion? I mean, yes, we want to, but are we in a position to? Quite possibly, that's a no. Quite possibly. I definitely do want to get some construction going. Specifically, what I want to upgrade will be like this elephantry here. Oh, this needs to have a fortress. We don't have a fortress here. I thought we had all of these fully upgraded. Hang on. What don't we have fully upgraded? Is it just that one? Because that's kind of wild. Yeah, it was just that one. Okay. Interesting. Well, we definitely want to get another upgrade going here. This will boost our heavy cavalry, so we'll get that upgraded. Perfect. And this ransom is acceptable. This ransom is also acceptable, and this one is acceptable. So yeah, I think we're just going to take whatever hit the game has in store for us for not making that oath. I probably shouldn't have chosen that one to begin with. It was always an ambitious oath, but here we are. It's fine. We'll see what it is. Okay, mental break. We're going to stay strong and resist those impulses. This guy is, he's having some problems, but we're going to lash out. That'll drop us back down to stress level 1, at least. So that's fine. We can pay a ransom here, or rather, get a ransom here. And if we're going to chill, we should probably think about things like a feast. This would get us some legitimacy, and that's desperately needed. We also got a stewardship perk here, and that's going to be divided attention, giving us +2 domain limit. That means that we can pull back this title, which is significant. I don't want to grant title. I want to retract the title. There we go. Cool. So that seems good. He started holding a grudge, but, you know, that's normal. And I want to make sure that these guys are stationed right there. Perfect. So now the question becomes, what do we want to fill this other domain limit slot with? Well, we kind of don't have anything for that. We're pretty designed to be at 10. So for now, I think this is okay. I'm not too concerned about it. I do want to get a little bit more gold here, so let's give it 1 month tick. Any moment now. There we go. 1 month tick. And we are going to immediately have a feast. Because we definitely need to work up our legitimacy, especially if we're anticipating... We should actually hold a funeral first. So this is going to be down over... here. Okay. Do we need this jungle stalker? No, we do not. Beautiful. The deceased will be our cousin here, and we're going to go for extravagant ceremonials, and let's go ahead and start that. Okay, so our goal here is to work up our legitimacy, and we're expecting to take a legitimacy hit when we fail the oath. I don't know that we will, but I strongly suspect that we'll take a legitimacy hit there. So that's understood. We need to bring up our legitimacy. We finished constructing a building down over here, and I definitely do want to get going on this workshop. So let's get that done. Either way here, we're going to gain stress. But we'll try to become a gardener. Okay, that brought up our stress level, which is not surprising, and that gives us a mental break. And we'll become a grouchy leader. There we go. That drops us back down. So that's a bit rough, of course, and we have attempted to learn how to become a gardener. Did we succeed? I don't think we did. Okay. Well, either way, that was the better option there. And we are going to move with the utmost care for a while. Cool. So we'll arrive over here for the funeral, and we're going to gain a little bit of prestige here. But of course, our intent is to espouse legitimacy, if only we had sons of our fathers. But we're going to see what we can get out of that. Hopefully we can get some legitimacy out of it. So that's fine. And then the question is, how long will it be until we can hold another funeral? Because we do have another deceased. So there's that. I mean, we're currently working on that, so we'll see what happens with that. So the fortress has been built in Kyle, and that is absolutely perfect. I want to get this elephantry going in immediately. Okay, so these guys have started a nomadic attention. We can manage things from here. I'm not concerned about this nomadic war. So let's see where these guys are. 10,000? That's a little bigger than usual, but they're up over here. And that seems absolutely fine. So I'm going to raise up our men-at-arms right here. We can see we were previously here. So we're going to raise just the men-at-arms here, and we're going to go in and attack these guys as soon as we're prepared. So it'll take us a few days. He's immediately walking directly into us and is going to stack wipe our 0 troops. That's annoying, but isn't the end of the world. So we're going to hop over this direction eventually. Once our men-at-arms finally get here. Unfortunately, that reset our progress because he walked in like this. Very, very sad. Should have spawned on this side. My own fault. So we've got 32 days on that, of course, and at this moment, the wake is still ongoing. Or actually, we're still waiting on activity guests, so that's fine. So we lost this siege here. This is, of course, the most important area for the ticking war score, and we'll see where their other territories are. 21.9% already. Okay. They've got a bunch out over here. Noted. But that's not ticking. We can deal with that at our leisure. So for now, this is fine. Okay, so they're going to start sieging up over this way. We've finally arrived over here. We're going to catch this force, which is fine. and we're going to get that under control. There we go. No problem there. And now we're going to walk up over this direction. Yes, show this lady in. Cool. So we get some court grandeur out of that. That's neat. Now, we do have mercenaries that are expiring. And to that end, I'm going to wait for these guys to be locked in, and then I'm going to do something really rude. I'm going to bring mercenaries in right here. And this is going to be... what mercenaries? I'm going to go for these. We'll hire them in there, and then we'll raise whatever we can here. Okay, so we'll raise a couple of forces here, but overall, we're winning that battle. Excellent. As I said, that's really rude. So we're going to do that with no problem, and apparently we don't have a leader here. This guy will do. Okay, we're going to come in here. This may end the war. It didn't quite. So they've got some forces up over here. I assume this is occupied by them? Yes, it is. So we can come up over this direction and start chasing these forces down. We can see they've got about 6,000 left, and some of those are over here. Oh, okay, we've got this going on. 72% chance of gaining 50 legitimacy. We'll take that risk. We made a fool of ourselves. Okay. Unfortunate roll there, but it's fine. Okay. So we'll lose some stress, at least, and I'm going to group these guys together because we're going to need to chase down these armies that are out over here. So we're at 65% war score right now, and what do we got here? We'll just quietly nod. That brings our stress level back up, hilariously. But it immediately came back down. Okay, cool. So I do want to check and see what we're doing over here right now. These guys are sieging here. That's understood. I'm assuming they're going here. So we'll see about making our way on over. Okay, out over this direction. I'm assuming that they're retreating up this way. That's the current thinking. Okay, what do we got? Only a 25% chance of gaining 50 legitimacy, but we would lose stress. We made a fool of ourselves again. Okay. I mean, we are a lunatic, so this is kind of in character. So at this point, we can gain 20 legitimacy or gain 50 legitimacy and pay some gold. And that's what we're going to do. I want that legitimacy. We already lost 40 legitimacy, so that's, you know, finally bringing that up a little bit. So 25% chance of 50 legitimacy. What else do we have here? Honestly, I'm not even going to risk it. We're up 10 legitimacy so far for this, and that's it. Our wife was wounded, apparently. Okay. So that's noted. So these guys are up over here, and we see that this force here is currently running away. They're fast, and we will see if we can catch them. Okay, 121 legitimacy there. That's not bad. Okay. So 121 legitimacy was nice. That's for sure. So that's good. We can definitely use more legitimacy than that. So at this moment, sure, you can join us. So at this moment, we're going to be traveling back, and that's understood. 150 gold? No, we're just watching. So we have no stress right now. These guys are fighting up over here, and they're winning that. So that looks great. And then up over this direction, we are going to catch this force. Perfect. War's over. So we're going to enforce these demands and disband our troops. Excellent. So that's now done, and we're going to come back down over here because we need to get some more upgrades going. And I'm going to upgrade this wind furnace. Perfect. We also gained 50 legitimacy from winning that war. So we're working our legitimacy back upwards, but we've got a long ways to go. That's for sure. So we do still have a faction here. This is these populists. That's not a significant issue. These nomads, they don't really exist. And then there's this Liberty faction with just this guy in it. Now, I want to point something out here. This claims that this guy is at 68.3% of our military power. That is accurate if you look at the ratio of numbers here, right? That's about 60... Let's see, 68.3? Hang on, let me open up a calculator here. I want to find out what the exact number is. So I'm just going to pull this over here so that you guys can see. It might be a little bit on the small side, but let's just see here. So he is at 33,801. So 33,801 divided by 52,424. Yeah, 64.476 here. So it's a little bit higher based on just that pure ratio than what I was expecting it to be. But that's pretty similar to what I was expecting that calculation to come out as. However, he is not at 68% of our strength. When you factor in the sheer power of our men-at-arms, he's at about 10% of our strength. This guy is no threat to us militarily. The game doesn't necessarily think that, because he's really close to being able to send an ultimatum. Just on his own. The game is wrong to calculate it that way, to be clear. He is nowhere near our troop quality, but we are lacking in troop quantity to some degree. There's no doubt about that. So I just wanted to point that out and say, this is part of the reason why this particular build that we're running is having a pretty major factionalism issue, because the game is thinking that we're a lot weaker than we are because it's not properly factoring in just how powerful our men-at-arms are. Our men-at-arms have insane stats. Like you can see here, the war elephants, this is saying that we have 250. This is the base stat. If we go into the actual men-at-arms that we have here and we look in this, you can see 825. This one's 900. These are insane stats. And we don't even have our accolades all active. We should probably work on that. So I'm going to restore accolades. We'll send the Herald on that. And it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to continue to improve our stats on our men-at-arms. It's going to get even more absurd than this, to be clear. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Spock, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.